Hey everybody, my name is Geoff Fagien, and welcome to this new kind of episode on the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're not new here, again, this is going to be something new. This is going to be me kind of going over the last shoot I did, which was a Star Trek fan film called Axanar. So I went there as the DP and I did some pickup shots for the trailer and for the movie itself, and we actually used a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K as our A-cam. We also used some really cool indie friendly devices that I want to go over because it was really cool that we were able to integrate this into the shoot that we did. In comparison, this was a quick one-day shoot. Again, it was pickups. We did a 3-day big shoot back in October, which we actually used different red cameras. We used proper RE sky panel light setups, full audio suite, and this time we used proper cameras, but again, we went the Blackmagic route. So we used the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. We used a few different kinds of EF lenses. We used speed boosters. We did use an original Blackmagic Pocket camera, but it was just for a few pickup shots where we needed two cameras to kind of get a wide and a close. We also used some indie-friendly lighting devices, such as the Godox SL60, which was a hero because we needed something that could pack a punch that was somewhat similar to a 120D. And it really helped us. I brought some gels with me, and as you're going to see in one of these first scenes, it came in handy. Another two MVPs I'd like to call out are these two devices, and again, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, but I want to kind of go over how useful they were, and maybe they'll be useful for you in the future. So one of them is the Accsoon Cineeye, which is a pretty cheap and affordable wireless transmitter. Transmits up to 4 different devices, which is pretty cool with, I don't want to say no latency, because there's definitely some, but very minimal latency. The other device that was the MVP was the Tilta Nucleus Nano, really affordable wireless follow focus that let us achieve some really cool shots, especially using a slider, where we were able to keep the subject in focus. I basically not only doubled as the DP, but I was also the first AC on this shoot as well. Used an iPad that hooked up to the Wi-Fi of the Accsoon Cineeye, and I was pulling focus. The shots were relatively simple, so the latency wasn't that big of an issue. The only thing I would say is we found out after the fact that most of the people in the room had their cell phones on with their Wi-Fi on, their Bluetooth on, and it was creating more interference than normal and adding to the whole latency issue. If you're going to use this in a very serious environment, I would definitely make sure that everybody has their Wi-Fi or Bluetooth off that is not using or hooking up to this device. Have them put it in airplane mode. That way they don't have to turn it completely off if they need to take pictures or whatever. But realistically, you know, the phone should be off. There's no need to take pictures. We actually had a BTS crew with us that day, which took all the pictures and video we needed, which again, you're going to see right here. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into some of the footage, kind of explain what's going on. I'm not really going to get into plot, and there may be some things that I leave out. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments below, and I will try to answer as many as possible. So we're going to move on to the first shot of the day, which is of this character named Garth, who is also Alec Peters, who is the EP of this whole Axanar project. And the shot is kind of him doing some pickups for the trailer and some shots for the movie. Again, don't really want to get into plot detail, but you're going to see there's me, and I'm kind of with Josh, who's camera opping for us, and Paul Jenkins, the director, and we're setting up the shot. As we move on, we have a few different lights. We have the Godox with the gel on from the side, giving us a nice red. We've got some LED lights from above, giving us a little bit of blue and red, the blue contrasting the red a little bit. There's also a lot of lighting in the pre-existing space that helps us kind of create this. If you're a Star Trek fan, it's a red alert, but it's even worse than red alert because it's emergency power. You know, like these guys, they just got hit. Again, not too many plot details, but you know, they're trying to fight back in this battle. So we're trying to kind of add to the seriousness. So that's why you see in all this footage, it's very red. So there's a shot of me here where I'm holding the iPad and I have the Tilta Nucleus Nano hand wheel in my other arm, and I'm just follow focus pulling. Again, there was a little bit of a latency, and it wasn't as bad in this bridge as a lot of the people who had the phones were outside the bridge, so it seemed to not interfere. We're just using the Blackmagic Pocket 4K in this shot on a slider, and we're kind of pushing in Got some really cool shots. And now we'll move on to the next shot, which was a really quick short film that was shot in one of the corridors. And I did a lot of handheld for this. I was able to use some cool little LED panels to accent the lights in certain areas. I did a video earlier on this really small RGB LED panel that really came in a punch, as you'll see in the next scene where we're lighting this plant. Now, this is a little bit of a joke, but you know, the plant was being a little bit difficult, so you know, you're gonna hear some audio of our director Paul trying to get the plant to kind of act the way we needed to.
And action, plant. Fucking pay attention. Hey, get your shit together. Hey. All right. We are good and cut. You're a pro.
When we move on from the plant, the last scene of the day we shot, and again, this isn't everything. This is just kind of going with some of the BTS that I have from this shoot. The last scene of the day was in an officer's quarters, again with the character of Garth, and you know, it was green screen, especially because we have a window and we needed the tracking so we can do the space moving on the green screen in post. We did 2 cameras for this. We did the Blackmagic Pocket 4K, and then we also put the original Blackmagic Pocket on a gimbal. And by doing that, it allowed us to get tight shots of Garth, and it also allowed us to get wide shots of Garth at the same time. Again, we were a small indie crew compared to the first shoot that we did, which was, again, a 3-day shoot, but it was like a 20-person crew versus this, which was pretty much a 4-person crew with some volunteers to help us move around. We were trying to keep the look as close to that high budget, high crew situation as possible, but again, using indie products such as the Blackmagic Pocket 4K, which gave us great footage, as well as some indie lighting and some indie audio sources. Overall, I am extremely happy with how this shoot came out, and I can't wait to show you guys some of the footage. I know around the time of our next shoot in February, which I will be the DP of that one as well, they are going to come out with the trailer. Just to put it out there, the original shoot, that was the 3-day shoot with the 20-person crew, I was actually not the DP of that one. I was a first AC, but they brought me in as a DP for the remainder of these shoots, which I'm glad to be a part of. It was a really great experience, and I can't wait to put out more. So again, I will share footage with you guys as I can, as the trailer gets released and as the movie gets released, because I'd like to go into further breakdowns, but I really feel comfortable only showing you guys the BTS footage for now until everything gets released. I think that's the safest way to go. So if you guys enjoyed, you have any questions of what we did that I can't answer, I'd be glad to answer them in the comments below. So shoot me a comment, write me an email, check the website out, it's reachfilms.com. So until then, I'll see you guys next time here on the channel.